discussions in early episodes. Today, I want to focus on the importance of the annual exam. This is your yearly exam that brings your pets in for where the vet gives them a look over. You're probably thinking it's pretty boring if you've been through it. In general, I do too, because most yearly exams are pretty basic. Let's update vaccines. Let's talk about weight. We'll see you next year. Why do you do it? It's not like you go to the doctor that much, right? But animals' lives are shorter. Here's the biggest reason I think the annual exam is important. Things build up. Things like dental tartar. Dental tartar is bacteria that are on the teeth, and over time it builds up. That brown you see on your pet's teeth is dental tartar, and then that tartar turns into hard calculus. This is the reason your animal's mouth smells nasty. This bacteria in the mouth can cause a variety of problems. For example, they can have oral pain and may not want to eat, so they lose weight. That bacteria can go through the gums and go anywhere in the body once it enters the bloodstream. Common problem I see when bacteria get in the body is it goes to the heart and deposits themselves on the valves of the heart, and that grows, which is called bacterial endocarditis. When there are enough bacteria growing in the heart, there can be so many that they cause the blood to flow abnormally, which causes a heart murmur, which I can hear. There's so many bacteria in the heart that it disrupts the blood flow so I can hear it. That's a lot of bacteria. I then start wondering, is it only the bacteria causing the murmur, or does the dog have a natural murmur as well that's been developing? And then congestive heart failure might develop from that. Does it need an enalapril? Does it need pimabendin? Does it need x-rays, furosemide? This is an older dog. It's 10 and it's moving slow. Is that heart disease? Oh no, the dog isn't on heartworm prevention. Could this all be caused by heartworm disease? We should probably run a heartworm test. Or is that lack of energy caused by pain and arthritis? The dog seems stiff in the morning, but also limps occasionally, but not on a specific leg. I better run a test for Lyme disease, since you haven't been on a prescription flea and tick, since you haven't been into the vet for 5 years. But before we talk about that, we've got to go over your rabies status. It's state law that this dog be up to date on its rabies vaccine. The only reason I wouldn't vaccinate for rabies is if I have proof it's up to date or it's running a temperature. This dog isn't running a fever. Oh, but you had been to a walk-in clinic at the local feed store a few years ago, but you don't have record, and in reality that was 4 years ago. You're still out of date, yet you still can't prove that you went to this clinic with anything other than your word because you don't have records. So we have to get that rabies vaccine. Why? Beside it being state law, I need my staff protected from rabies, and your dog is limping and painful. So even though it's always a nice dog, it could potentially bite someone out of a pain response. Is that limp from a neurologic problem, or is it from a pain problem? Also, we typically recommend annual blood work over at 10 years of age, as our exam finds things on the outside of your pet, but isn't telling us what's going on the inside of your pet. It'd be a good idea to check the liver and kidneys and make sure we don't need to adjust diets or give supplements. But Doc, I just came in here because it's shaking its head and scratching its ears. Oh yes. About how long has that been going on? 2 weeks? Okay. Does this happen every year about this time? Yes, since it was about 6, but each year it's getting worse. What I'm going to say next is not an insult to my or any client. It's just the truth. We lead busy lives, and in a world of information overload, we are experts in our own field, so I don't expect you to be knowledgeable in everything in vet medicine. That's my ball field, and that's why you come to me. But I see cases like I described above on a daily basis. Those sound complex, don't they? They sound like there are a lot of decisions to make, because there are. And you have to make all those decisions on how to proceed with your pet. Generally, what I find is people get overwhelmed. They don't know what to do, and I can only guide them so much. I have some people say, well, I just came in for a specific issue. But all these issues are often tied together. Or the treatment for one affects the treatment for the other. As a vet, when I examine your animal, I am giving an overall exam and I report the things I find wrong. After all, you came to me because I'm the expert in the field. You have your own life to worry about, so you come to me to handle your pet's health. But then I come to you with a page-long list of things wrong with your animal. Then you're upset because it's more expensive than you intended. How can you prevent this? Well, that's the annual exam. Typically, a lot of these issues I describe are issues that compile over time. If you come regularly to an annual exam, I can catch those things early. So when you come to me with a skin problem, I've already addressed the teeth and the arthritis, and you're up to date on your rabies vaccine. So then I only have to address the skin issues, which if you came to your annual exam, you would have been recommended flea control, which would have prevented you from needing to come in for a skin issue. I try to prevent problems with the annual exam. I've heard people mutter how expensive the vet visit is, and I used to feel bad for those people because they come in because of fleas, and a few weeks later they have had dentals, blood work, multiple medications for their pet. But I really stopped feeling bad because when I started looking back at these are often clients that skip their annual exams. What I noticed, though, was the bills weren't much different than if they had come to their annual exams. It's just spreading the cost out with the annual exam over multiple years versus all at once with a sick pet. These clients hadn't spent money on their pet for veterinary expenses for 5 years, so the bill they got today pretty much equaled out to 5 annual visits. So that's just the price of owning a pet. The real frustration is I can tell the clients are overwhelmed. I'm throwing so much information at them, and I need to know how they want to handle the situation. I can advise and educate them how to treat, but in the end it's their decision how to proceed. Again, this isn't an insult to clients, but I see so many with the deer in the headlights look when I go over all this, that they just are stunned and don't know what to do. Or, this is what I hate, they don't have the finances because it's 5 years worth of care bundled into one visit. I often am asked, can we just do the rabies later? And I follow up with, that's state law and my clinic policy to enforce it. You have to be up to date on rabies. So that charge and the exam fee are set in stone. When your budget is $100, that limits my ability to treat the problem you came in for. Also, I think clients tend to lose track of the age of an animal. For example, a 1-year-old cat is equivalent to a 15-year-old human. It's even more complex for dogs. While a 1-year-old dog is equivalent to 15 years, once you get to 6 years old, a 21 to 50 pound dog is 42 years. And a dog over 90 pounds is 49 years of age. In general, a 10-year-old cat is 56, and a 10-year-old dog may be around 60. So if you were thinking, you have had your pet for 10 years, you're like, well, that isn't that old. But for most breeds of dogs and cats, you are over the midlife crisis area. If you want to generalize animal and human care by straight years, you are oversimplifying the matter. To say it another way, for those of you that care for aging parents that are in their 70s and 80s, for a dog or a cat, that starts from 13 to 14 years of age. So all those trips to the doctors for older people, well, its equivalence is much sooner in pets. All this is to say you need more medical care at the beginning and end of your life as a person. That's the same for pets, but those pets will need that care in a more consolidated time. I think this catches people off guard when I start telling them that their pet is a senior or older animal. The annual exam helps us stay ahead of that for you, so you don't get things piled up and can catch things before they become a problem. Lastly, the annual exam keeps you up to date with your veterinarian. So many times people call and there is something we can diagnose and fix relatively easily, maybe by dispensing some medications after a virtual exam. Well, if I haven't seen you in a year, often what could be picking up some medications means a trip to reestablish the legal ability for a vet to prescribe and dispense medications. The yearly exam is designed to help you not be surprised by changes in your pet. It's designed to help your pet by giving you early warnings to stay ahead of issues that could become problems. And it's designed to help your vet by keeping us from overwhelming you with multiple problems while meeting our legal obligations practicing veterinary medicine. Take advantage of the knowledge of your veterinarian and make sure to come to these yearly exams. I'm Dr. Nathan. Thanks for listening. I hope our discussions are valuable to you and aid in giving perspective. If you want to contact us, please reach out to theveterinarianpodcast@gmail.com. You can find a complete list of the podcast episodes on SoundCloud. If you find this information helpful and want more content, please join our Patreon, patreon.com/theveterinarianpodcast. And don't forget to follow our Facebook page, facebook.com/theveterinarianpodcast. As always, thanks for listening, and I hope this information is helpful to you. If you do find it helpful, please like it, share it, so other people may find it helpful as well.